Good. All right. Hi, I'm Jen Litzow. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you guys making it tonight. Um, I've been one of the coordinators for the TOSA district for about 12 years, and about 10 years I was manager for a number of TOSA teams. And just a little over a year, I've been one of the co-regional directors with Ann Cowling in the Milwaukee region. So I don't know, I think Ann, I don't know if you want to switch to the next screen. Oh, there we go. All right, so tonight we'll talk a little bit about what DI is, how you get started as a manager. We'll give you tips on how to work with your younger kids participating in Rising Stars, and we'll give you resources to help you through the managing process. So what is DI? So DI is a program and organization, and there's the website up on the screen. So it's destinationimagination.org. It's a nonprofit with a small staff of 18 people, and it's located in New Jersey, and it serves more than 150,000 participants every year in 42 states, 28 countries, and 6 continents. So Wisconsin Destination Imagination is your local affiliate. You can find it at wisconsindi.org. Our executive director is Mary Bykowski, and we have a board of directors. We're divided into 10 regions, and each region has 1 to 2 directors. So all of the regional directors are here to help you. You can find the contact information for regional directors at the website that you can see on the screen. DI is also an educational experience. So it's team-based. At least 2 or more kids have to be on a team, but no more than 7 members on a competitive team. For Rising Stars, teams can be larger than 7, but we highly recommend you not to have more than 7 because it's hard to even manage 7, even with older kids. At least 1 team manager has to be in charge of the team, and the team manager has to be at least 18 years of age. The heart of DI, well, there are 6 different team challenges each year that competitive teams can choose from. Teams only do 1 team challenge, which is plenty. It's a lot of work just to do that 1 challenge. There is only one team challenge each year for the Rising Stars. The different categories for the challenges are technical, scientific, engineering, fine arts, improvisational, service learning, and Rising Stars. All of them are STEAM-based and multidisciplinary. A little bit about the challenges. Each challenge has some requirements and guidelines, but all are very open-ended. Every challenge solution will be unique, just as the team members are all unique individuals. Each challenge solution takes a form of a short, usually 8 minutes or less play that is presented at a tournament before appraisers and an audience of family, friends, and DIers. The instant challenge. Teams also must complete an instant challenge at the tournament. Teams have just a few minutes to solve their instant challenge. Rising Star teams are not required to do an instant challenge at the tournament, but they are encouraged to do so with most or all of the Wisconsin tournaments. DI is student-centered. Although the team managers of the competitive teams are there to help the team understand the challenge and to help to keep them on track, they cannot solve the challenge for themselves. Only the team itself may contribute ideas and do the work to solve the challenge. Oh, sorry. But the challenge solution should still belong to the team. I think I missed it.
So
oh,
just
I
to make a quick note. No, that's okay. That you
flipped into another screen.
No, that's fine. But they're not the strict rules against interference for
Yeah,
Rising Stars.
I apologize. The screen picture was exactly the same and I didn't know the switch. Okay. Because it's non-competitive, Rising Stars does not have rules regarding interference. However, team managers and parents are encouraged to respect the spirit of DI. You want to offer help when necessary, but the challenge solution should still belong to the team. Participation levels. So early learners, the Rising Stars, are usually between the grades of kindergarten to second grade, and it can be mixed grade teams, which are okay, and those are all non-competitive. The competitive teams are the elementary, middle school, and secondary groups. How do you find your kids? Your school coordinator may assign your kids on your team, or you can recruit the kids yourself. You can do this by putting out a call to all the students in the school or the kids in the school. Ask your children's friends and classmates, or ask teachers to help identify kids that they feel would be a good fit for DI. Then you want to buy a team number. Your coordinator or you, as the team manager, will purchase the team number from destinationimagination.org. The cost is $165 per team, plus a $100 Wisconsin fee, which will come to $265. You also have to pay for a $25 background check for each team manager, unless you have a level 2 or 3 background check from Sterling Volunteers, which is good through May 2024. Once you have your team number is like your membership to DI. It's a unique 8-digit number, which starts with 148. You will need to know your team number for lots of things. Get your team to help you remember it. If your coordinator buys the team number for you, you need to log in at the destinationimagination.org website to assign you as the team manager to that team. The coordinator can pay for your background check and then give you a code to use to submit to the check. For the check, team members and background checks are non-refundable, so know how you're paying it before you actually buy it. To avoid any problems, make sure you are consistent with your email address. We've had that problem with a number of different managers. You want to make sure that you go in and you list yourself as a team manager under one email address, and then you want to set up your DI account and your background check always through that same email. An extra thing to consider: optional membership in the National Federation of State High School Associations, which provides liability coverage. DI team managers can purchase a team membership for the discounted rate of $15. You can get more information about this at the resources destinationimagination.org website that you see on the screen. Sectional tournaments. Your team goes to one sectional tournament for the season. The different tournaments are the Northeastern Sectional Tournament, which is the northeast area of Wisconsin, Bay Lake, and Green Bay regions. That's on Saturday, February 24th in Algoma, Wisconsin. There's the Northwestern Sectional Tournament, which is St. Croix and West Central regions. That's Saturday, March 2nd in Hudson, Wisconsin. There's the Southeastern Sectional Tournament, which is the Milwaukee and South Central regions, which is Saturday, March 2nd in Muskego, Wisconsin. And then there's the East Central Sectional Tournament, which is Kettle Moraine, Winnebago, and the Black Hawk regions on Saturday, March 16th in Germantown, Wisconsin. Teams will present twice at these tournaments. They're going to compete in their Central Challenge, which is the 8-minute play that they'll be working on, and they're going to be they'll actually compete in the Instant Challenge, and they could be scheduled anytime during the day. When teams register, they can request a particular time if they have a school-related conflict. We've certainly had that happen before many times, and they're really good about trying to organize and make it so that you can attend both events if possible. Otherwise, parents should plan on setting aside the entire day for the tournament. There will be in-person award ceremonies at the end of the competition, and rising stars will get their medals right after their team challenge.
So just to clarify that, Rising Stars teams are absolutely welcome to stay for award ceremonies, but there's not usually a recognition of the Rising Stars at that award ceremony at the end of the day. That's why the medals are given to the kids right away after they do their central challenge, so that you don't have to keep them there all day if they're really not up for it.
Yeah, because it can be a really long day for everyone, but for little kids especially. Then there's an affiliate tournament, which is the state tournament. Competitive teams that do well enough at the sectional tournament will be invited to participate in the state tournament. And that's Saturday, April 6th at the University of Green Bay. A lot of kids will go up on a Friday night, stay overnight, because it tends to start really early in the morning on that Saturday. Rising Stars do not compete in the affiliate tournament. The next steps would be to log in at the destinationimagination.org website. You want to go into the upper right-hand corner. You're going to establish an account with a password if you don't already have one. You want to accept the code of conduct for the 2023-24 year, and this will put you in the resource area. Once you have your team number and your background check, you can click on the Documents tab and see that you'll see Making a Splash, the challenge description, which is the Rising Stars Challenge. And it says the Early Learning Instant Challenge practice set will also be available for you. The next steps you'll want to do is once you have your team number and your background check, and you'll have your kids on your team and you access the challenge description, you can then start meeting with your team. Where and when do you meet?
So I'm sorry, Jen, do we want to just take a minute and see if anybody has any questions? I don't know if anything come in the chat, but
yeah,
no more questions.
Okay. So where and when do you want to meet with your team? If your coordinator has not assigned you a day, a time, or a place, then it's basically up to the manager to decide. The meeting days and times should fit your schedule, the manager's schedule. In general, teams meet about once per week for about an hour or two. You know your kids, so you want to keep it age appropriate. Things you want to consider: will the team meet at school or at someone's home? You want to have the space. You want to have a space that doesn't have a lot of distractions, because kids in general get distracted pretty easily, especially when they're young. If the team constructs costumes, props, devices, etc., where will you store them? Sometimes it's tricky at school if you do a lot of building of materials and you don't have a place to store it, which is typical for a lot of schools. Then you'll have to transport it back to your car and bring it to somebody's house. So that's just something to think about. If the team paints or otherwise creates a mess, where will they do this? Would you want it to be in a garage or a basement, somewhere where you can't wreck anything? As a team manager, it's your job to make sure your team has the resources that they need to solve their challenge. That includes time and space in which you want to do their work, or they want to do their work. However, it's also very important for you to set your own reasonable boundaries. The team does not always have to be together physically to solve every element of the challenge. They can do some of the work independently at home. That's like a perfect opportunity for you to, for the managers to tell the kids, or the kids decide what they're going to work on during the next week, right before they meet again for DI. And perhaps older Rising Stars can meet virtually using video conferencing. You want to involve the parents. Have a parent meeting at the beginning of the season so that you can discuss this with the parents. Outline the schedule and tell them what your expectations are. You want to review the DI Youth Protection Policy available on the DI website. You want to gather medical information and emergency numbers for all the team members. ask the parents to help with whatever you need. That could be help, they could help supervise meetings, they could gather supplies for the team, they can volunteer in many ways. DI should not be a drop and run activity. So you should not feel like you have to do everything yourself. Rising stars will need help when it comes to understanding what is asked of them in their challenge. As the team manager, you will need to read the challenge with and to them and explain the process. The children should understand that they will create a performance or a play, and that their play will have certain requirements, which include characters, problems, costumes, etc. And they need to make and talk about it in their play. In your meetings, the team will need to help understand, or you'll need to help them understand that a play has to have a beginning, middle, and end. Some tips when you're interacting with the kids, you can bring an object such as a cloth or a small stuffed animal to the meeting and call it the talking object. During your meeting, you can gather the team in a circle. It's helpful to have a circle because then they're all kind of looking at each other. When the object is held, a team member can share ideas for solving the challenge after you read them the challenge. Encourage kids to share a couple ideas while holding this object, but then pass the object along to another team member to talk. Some children have a lot to say and some don't. As a team manager, you want to be cognizant of the time and encourage them to say what they'd like, but keep it related to the question. If they talk too much, encourage the child to pass the object along to let someone else have a turn. Pages 11 through 15 and 17 through 19 of Making a Splash, the challenge description contains helpful information about planning and conducting team meetings. A tip while you're working with them is to break up the work time. Set a timer for 10 minutes or however long you think is reasonable based on the students' ages, and try to keep them focused during that 10 minutes. If they can stay focused for 10 minutes, you can reward them afterward by letting them do something they want, such as talking to a friend or playing a quick game of catch with the talking object. Let them know if they get distracted, you'll add an extra 5 minutes to their time. As you practice each week, they may eventually make it through the 10-minute stretch, but to get there, it'll help to be consistent with all of your practices. If they do make it through the meeting staying focused during these stretches, reward them with a sucker or a sticker at the end of the meeting. Be sure to give them a lot of positive feedback through the meeting. If they consistently make it through a 10-minute stretch, increase the time to 15 or 20 minutes. So we can also do different listening activities as a way to break up the circle time. These can be part of the 10-minute focus stretch. An example would be have team members pair up with a partner. The team managers ask a question for the whole group to hear, such as, what did you do over the weekend? One partner answers the question, the other partner repeats what their partner said. Now switch and have the second partner answer the same question while the first partner repeats the answer. Give them different questions and continue to switch the roles. Materials you would need for this next activity would be a picture from a magazine or a blank piece of paper. You'd need the picture from a magazine, a blank piece of paper, and a pencil and a clipboard. You want to divide the team into groups of 2. One team member describes the picture while the other partner draws the picture without looking at it. The picture should stay hidden from the one drawing it, and it should be child appropriate. Once the child is done describing the picture, they can look at the picture and drawing and see how they did. Be sure to switch roles so each child has a turn describing the drawing and give them a different picture to work with. During the instant challenge practice, most Rising Star instant challenges are a hybrid of a task and performance, which involves creativity. When working on an instant challenge with this age group, bring in a variety of fun materials so the team can play around with them. Start by letting the kids make their own prop so they get familiar with the materials. This means you'll need to bring a lot more materials to each meeting. You want to bring in maybe plain paper plates, markers, feathers, buttons, mailing labels. Have the kids make a friend out of these materials. After they're done, have them share what they made with the group during circle time, and maybe tell the group a question that they might ask their new friend. Ask them to go around sharing their new friend, and encourage the kids to think of new questions that they might ask their new friend. Bring in paper plates, construction paper, buttons, tapes, glue dots, scissors. I'm sure you guys probably have a lot of other ideas that other than the ones that I'm giving you. Have the kids create their favorite food out of all these items that they're given. After they're done, have them share the food and explain how they would make it. Have the kids make their favorite animal out of pipe cleaners, then show the team during circle time and share where their animal was living when they found it. Have the kids make a tower out of paper and mailing labels, and then tell the group who lives in the tower and what it looks like inside. These mini challenges encourage creativity and story development. As you move on into the season, have the kids try an actual instant challenge with each team member sharing their idea and each team member taking a turn with the materials. Don't worry about the time. So tournament registration. All
Okay, I'm
teams.
sorry. Maybe that's a good
Time to take break.
Yeah, just didn't want to.
Yeah. You want to check in with everyone. Okay, so tournament registration. All teams, including Rising Stars, need to register for their sectional tournament. The deadline is 11:59 p.m. Sunday, January 15th of 2024.
Could be 24, sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah. Anyways, so the fee is $50 per team, or you can purchase a t-shirt for teams attending the Southeast sectional tournament. Before registering, log in at destinationimagination.org and go under the Teams tab. You want to indicate your challenge, which is called Making a Splash. You want to enter the teams of your team, the team names of your team members and your team name, and check that your competition level reads early learning. You want to wait a day, then go to the registration or registeryourteam.org. You want to log in with your same login info from destinationimagination.org. You'll fill in the basic team info and click Save and Continue. Copy the link and email to the parents so they can register their kids. Through Register Your Team, you can also order t-shirts. You can pay via credit card, download an invoice if you can pay by check. Note, before paying, make sure your school coordinator has already done so. Appraisers and volunteers. Register your team. You'll ask for the name. When you register your team, they will ask for your name of an appraiser or a volunteer. So when you register, every team has to have a person that will act as an appraiser at the tournament, and they will need also a volunteer to work at the tournament. Appraisers need to be there for the entire tournament, and they can't leave to go see a particular team perform. Support volunteers work shorter shifts and can schedule it around a team performance. All teams, including Rising Stars, need to furnish an appraiser. We need approximately one appraiser per team, which I kind of just talked about. No appraisers, no tournament. Your appraiser will most likely not appraise your team.
So I just wanted to chime in on this, that I do get a lot of I've gotten a lot of questions over the years. Do Rising Stars teams still need to furnish an appraiser? The answer is yes. Rising Stars teams, although they are not scored, they are appraised. We do need volunteers. We do need a group of volunteers for the Rising Stars, just as we need a group of appraisers for the competitive teams. So this is a shared responsibility. We do need everybody to do it.
And it might seem maybe overwhelming at first, but if you keep it in mind that, you have to, look for someone. You might want to start working on it right away so that at the time when you actually register your team, you're not panicking. So, I mean, a lot of times I will ask maybe a neighbor or a teacher or, a family member that loves kids. But just start thinking about it. A lot of times the volunteers are usually the parents from the kids that are on your team because they can easily just work a 2-hour schedule and then still see their child compete. So yeah, just start thinking about it. Appraisers need to be available all day, possibly early to late. They receive training online and the day of, and we actually do feed them, and we feed them well, and they actually have fun.
There is a question in the chat. Can the appraisers be high school students?
No, they cannot.
Well,
They have to be 18.
except for
correct?
Rising Stars.
Yes.
So it really, I would say check with your regional director about that question. The Milwaukee region traditionally has a lot of Rising Stars teams, and we can, in fact, we generally have a lot of high school students appraising Rising Stars because they're not scoring, so they're allowed to do it when they're still in high school. And the Rising Stars really like having the high schoolers there. They, how kids at this age really look up to high school students and think it's really fun and cool. So we definitely do take high school students for that. But I would check with your regional director because you may be at a tournament with only a couple of Rising Stars teams, and therefore they may have appraisers appraise Rising Stars and a competitive challenge. So they may not allow high school students. So just check with your regional director, but certainly in the Milwaukee region or the Southeast sectional tournament, we do accept high school students.
Thanks, Anne, for clarifying. So you want to get
I'm sorry. Are there more questions, Michaela?
Nope, that was it.
Okay. Sorry.
So for appraisers, get your parents to help you find an appraiser. This is a perfect way for parents to get involved. Contact your parents, ask them to start thinking now so that you guys have an idea of who to ask, or you have a name in mind. You can ask retirees, college students, teachers, engineers, artists, theater people, neighbors, Facebook friends, anyone who likes young children or young people and want to feel more hopeful about the future. I actually find the tournaments really fun. And, I've asked people in the past to help out when we needed to find an appraiser. And by the end of the day, they're just so excited that they actually got involved in it and felt like they were actually contributing to the community and helping out young kids.
I'm stuck, Michaela. What do I do?
Try hitting the space button.
That's what I'm hitting.
Maybe try closing out.
Let me see. Stop share? No.
No, just the PowerPoint. Or right click.
I'm sorry. Let's see. Right click.
Exit full screen. And then up top right, just click slideshow again.
Okay.
Not from beginning, just click where it says slideshow, the oval. Yep.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. So teams that do not supply the name or contact information of an appraiser or volunteer by 11:59 p.m. Monday, January 15th, which is the deadline for the tournament, will be considered to have a late registration and may incur a late fee. So please furnish the name of a real person who actually is committed to appraising. I think Anne's had some people create some fictitious names. That's why we added that part. Okay, so start looking now, which we've talked about. If you don't have a good faith effort and you don't find anyone, do not panic. Instead, contact your regional director. Resources to help you. Making a splash, your challenge description, your regional directors, monthly Wisconsin DI coffee hours, which I've heard are really helpful, especially the ones in December and January. You can find those at the wisconsindi.org events link. Wisconsin DI website can help you, and the Wisconsin Destination Imagination Facebook.
Michaela, do you want to just say a quick word about the, I mean, Rising Stars team managers are welcome at any coffee hour, but you want to say a little something about the December and January ones, which we're highlighting here?
Yeah, sure. So, well, there is a really great coffee hour topic for November as well, which is instant challenge. And while Rising Stars aren't required to do an instant challenge, it is something good to introduce them to, and it's opportunity to really practice quick thinking, working together on the spot. December is going to be all about register your team. So how do you go through that process of signing up for your tournaments? So really walking through how you fill out the forms on that platform. And I am blanking on the January topic. Give me one second.
January, we do have a special pullout session for Rising Stars.
I'm looking at
breakout.
Yep, preparing for your tournament. So, what are those things that you need to know about your tournament day? So you've corralled all these kids for the last few weeks, but what do you need to think about for the actual tournament day, and what should you bring? Different tips and tricks for that. So those are all coming up. As some of you know, our email service is down, so I'm not going to send the registration link right now, but I will send it in the follow-up to this call.
And I'm looking at the sheet right now. It looks like, I don't know if you already said this, and I apologize if you did, but January 13th is the preparing for your tournament, the early learning and competitive teams that are invited, and it's at 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, that coffee hour. And so we'll have a breakout room, because it is different for Rising Stars. It's not because you're not competing, because you're not getting scored. The advice that we have for you is different. So we'll have a breakout room just for Rising Stars team managers at that coffee hour. The coffee hours are just designed to be an informal way for team managers around Wisconsin to get together virtually, one Saturday a month for about an hour. And we just provide some tips, and it's a place to ask questions and share suggestions and ideas. And then Michaela just put the website in the chat. So, all right. Sorry, I advanced the slide. I don't know how to go back.
Oh, that's okay. I think
we were done.
Yeah, we were done. And actually, I was just going to say this too. I mean, so if you have any questions, problems, concerns, do not stay silent. There are no dumb questions, for sure.
It happened again. I got to, oh, there it goes. Okay.
Oh, all right. Thank you for doing this. Being a DI team manager can be very hard. Why? Because children don't know everything yet. Working with human beings is hard work, and people don't come with an owner's manual. We are all learning how to be human beings again after all the stress and isolation for the last few years. However, it is so worth it. Look at those cute little faces. Do not stress out. It's only Rising Stars. If they are missing an element of their challenge solution, it's okay. They will be adorable no matter what.
And that's the last slide.
Yeah.